25 years of tarot. That is quite the number. And I can't believe that it's already been a quarter of a decade that I've had tarot in my life. So, hi everyone. My name is Maria, and thank you for tuning in to today's video. Welcome back if you've been here before. And yes, today I want to look at how my tarot journey actually began, because the other day I was thinking like, oh, I'm having my 30-year witchiversary this year in July. And then I thought, wait a minute, how long have I had tarot in my life? And I realized 1999, wait, 2024, that's 25 years. So it's time to celebrate. And I will do that by looking back. So everything for me, like the real tarot journey, started with Sailor Moon, and we'll get into that in a moment. But actually, it kind of started with this. I don't exactly know when this came out. So Bravo is a teen magazine that we have in Europe, and I live in Germany, so this is what we had in our issue. I don't know if this was also released in other European countries. Not sure. And in one of the magazines, they had a majors only deck, and they called it the Star Tarot because they put all kinds of celebrities onto these cards that were like the latest thing back in whatever year this was. Now, the only indication of when this was published, it must have been between the years of 94 and 97, because of the Lovers card. Now here's also a few, and yeah, I never put this together, a few spreads of how you can read. And then it goes into an explanation of the light and shadow aspect of each card. And for example, for international people here, we have Janet Jackson as the High Priestess. We have Axl Rose as the Emperor. And we have Gwyneth Paltrow and Brad Pitt. Wait, here we are. They are the lovers. So this is the picture that they chose. And I think this is right around the time when the movie Seven came out, if I'm not mistaken. So that's kind of like, I think like 94, 95-ish, 96, I don't know. This is when that came out. So we have Kevin Costner as the Hanged Man. The singer from Green Day, he is the devil. Billy Joe, I think was his name. And we've got Madonna as the Judgment card, for example. So yeah, and this was the beginning. But I never really read with this card because I didn't like some of the people that they had chosen for these cards. They were not my favorite singer, so I didn't really care too much for this deck. And I cut out, actually, only like there's a little tiny bit of a picture from a real tarot card on here, and I cut those out with the titles, but eventually it was too tiny to actually do anything with it. And the deck that they used for this was this one. So they used the majors from the Arcus Arcanum. So technically that would have been my very first real tarot deck that I ever got. And yeah, but you could barely see the pictures. You couldn't really work with it at all. So I didn't really do much with it. I just put it away into my my witchy stash and just left it there. And now I don't know if I even have the cards anymore. I haven't been able to find them, but I still got the booklet. So this is just a nice way of remembering how everything started. And then around the same time, I've always been a big Sailor Moon fan. In one of the comics that they were selling over here, no, not a manga, they actually did sell some comic book versions of this. One of them had the Astro Guide in it, and this is also my start into astrology. And they have all the Sailor Scouts in here with their names, their birthdays. Like they got a real backstory from Naoko Takeuchi, who invented Sailor Moon. And so you know when each of these was born. And what I really like is how they based all of this on the Western astrology system. So each of these girls is fashioned after their planets that they are the scout of. So Sailor Neptune, for example, she's a Pisces and she's got the typical strengths and weaknesses of the Pisces. Same with all the other girls. So Haruka is the classic Aquarius. Minako, she is, oh, come on, don't be blurry now. Minako, she is Venus and she's actually a Libra. Mars, Ray, she is typical Aries. And Mercury, Amy, she is a Virgo. And then we have Bunny. No, her name is not Serena. Her name is Bunny. Or actually, it's, what was it? Well, here it says Bunny Tsukino, but Uzagi is her name. And yeah, she is the Cancer, so for Moon. And Mamoru Chiba, not Darien. Mamoru, he is a Leo, and he represents Earth in this because, yeah, everyone had to have a planet here. So he gets the Leo aspect, and he is the protector of Earth. And so the only thing that they did switch, which is kind of difficult for me to think around, is Pluto and Saturn. Because here in the storyline of Sailor Moon, they made Saturn the one for destruction and death, and Pluto is the keeper of time. So they kind of switched the Kronos and Hades aspect of this. For whatever reason, I don't know. So this was also like mid-90s that I got this. But then when I was, let me just get this. So in the summer of 1999, in August, I went to my local magazine shop where I would get my weekly Bravo magazine, and I saw this. So here it even said extra number 2, and I looked it up. Let me just pull it up on my phone. So the extra number 1, which must have come out when I was still in America during my foreign exchange year, was a calendar with postcards. So I didn't get that one. Otherwise, if I would have seen it, probably would have gotten it. But I was home just in time to find this. And these were my actual beginnings in tarot. So the magazine came with a deck. And all of this you had to put together yourself. So I just put this together with some Scotch tape. And that's the package. And you can still see here how I tore those apart because they were all like together and you had to rip them apart because they were in this magazine. And yeah, a majors only deck. And this is how everything started. So we've got a title card that came with it. And here is a card that has all the names of the cards and then a keyword for each of them to make it easy. And then there are other Sailor Moon decks out there, and out of the licensed ones, this is the only one that I would ever read with. I know there are some fan art decks, which I am not in favor of because it is copyright infringement. And yeah, you can get those on Etsy, whatever. But yeah, this was, I mean, officially sold. And even the 25-year crystal anniversary tarot deck, which I don't find very readable and usable because of how they put the characters on there. But even that one was officially licensed somewhere in Asia. So yeah, this is the deck, and I'll show you the cards in a minute. Let's just look at this. So in order to know tarot and to know what you're doing, they gave this magazine with it. And also they had this big poster that, this is huge. So it has like a big spread here that is big enough for the cards to fit on top of there. So there's one spread here. I'll show you that in a minute. And then there's, oh God, the Celtic cross on the other side. So let's just get this out of the way carefully. Okay. So basically, the story of this deck is that Ray, who is wants to be a high priestess later on, and she is the one doing the spiritual stuff in the story. So she basically created this, and she is giving the instructions on how to read tarot. She also, like, they go into saying that they don't really know where the origin of tarot is, where it comes from, but that it's always been a mysterious kind of thing. They also say, for example, if you want to know something about matters of the heart, then it would be really good on Friday afternoon between 3 and 4 p.m. Summertime, because that is the hour of Venus, it says here. And so she goes into a little bit of the, backstory and how to read tarot and how to know the language of tarot. And then they give these short but really good descriptions of the cards, and each card also has like a motto to go with that. For example, for the Fool, they have Chibiusa, and the motto of the Fool is, I'm going to try this now and I'll think about it later. So I think these mottos and everything that go with each and every card have been very well chosen. And yeah, so this is how I got to know the cards at first. And then this is the Celtic cross that I still use to this day. And this is where I got it from. So we've got the current situation and the influence on the situation, the goal, what are we actually working towards, the foundation, the past, the future, myself, then influences from the outside or how other people see me, my feelings, so hopes, dreams, and fears, and the outcome. And then she explains it a little bit more in detail, each position, and then they give a sample reading, also explaining all the cards and how to interpret that reading. And then Amy, Sailor Mercury, she also invented a spread for this magazine. So this is like a moon. And this one here is what I want, what they want. So this is like a back and forth between two parties. My next step, their next step, what we should do together, what we're actually going to do, and the outcome. And this one also gets further explanation into each of the prompts, a sample reading with an interpretation. And here is another quick spread. This one is just called The Cross. This is for an answer to a very direct question. So what is it all about? What is not going to happen? What is going to happen next? And the outcome. Also with further explanation and example reading. And then something that I have not even been paying attention to, even though it was right here, the daily draws, explaining how you can draw one card every day and, how to do that by shuffling the cards, pull one card. And, it says here, the more you use them, the better you will understand them and the more they will tell you. So I think this is pretty cool. And yeah, this is for adults, for teenagers. I think you could even give this to older children. A very nice and easy way to learn the tarot. And this was the best way for me to start because it took out all the mysticism. I didn't have to learn about any esoteric secrets and secret societies, Golden Dawn. I was not confused with any of that. I could really just get to know the cards. And what I like about this deck is that the pictures and the persons and also the situations that they chose very well match the cards because they even go into certain situations that happened in the show, in the storyline, that match up with these cards so well, which gives me an extra layer of reading this card whenever I work with it. And even though it's a childish looking deck, this has always been the real deal for me. So I have even predicted 2 deaths with this deck. It might look cute and cuddly, but this one is like it really reads well. Still to this day, this is the one deck that I would rescue from the burning building. Like every other deck in my collection is essentially replaceable except for this one. This is my yeah, my absolute favorite, because this is also the only deck that I ever got to read for my grandma with, and her death was actually one of the deaths that I read with the cards. So, okay, so here is Chibiusa as the Fool. The childish energy makes perfect sense. Then for a while, Mamoru, had lost his memory, so he appeared as a different character, and I'm kind of blanking on the name right now. It will come to me. And then as the High Priestess, we have Luna, and the Empress, of course, the motherly figure, Bunny with her daughter, and the father with the daughter, so Tuxedo Mask and the Emperor. And as the High Priest, here he's called the High Priest, not the Hierophant, which I like. And this was also how I got to know this. Then the Lovers, it's actually like this. As the Chariot, well, we've got the team, the early version of the team before they found the others. So for the longest time, it was just Moon, Mercury, and Mars, and then Tuxedo Mask. Here, this is Thoth-inspired, so Justice is number 8. The Hermit is, yeah, we have the outer senshi, or 3 of the 4 outer senshi. And this makes perfect sense because each of them in the storyline was stationed on their respective planets to guard the solar system against incoming enemies from other dimensions or whatever. And so they were actually supposed to be just on their planets, not being together. And so they also live very secluded lives. Only these 2, since they're a couple, manage to spend their time together. But she is the most hermity of them all. But yeah, they work together, but they're very much alone in their way. So the Wheel of Fortune, here we have all of them uniting their energies. Strength as 11. The Hanged Man, this is Prince Diamond from one of the villain clans that they were battling. Death is this guy down here, and he was actually influencing Diamond and his entire family. So he was the real villain. He was pulling the strings, and he wanted her dead. So here, 14, the Temperance, is called Art. Then we have Mistress 9 as the Devil. This was before she transformed into Sailor Saturn. The Tower, now this is a moment where Michiru, Haruka, and Setsuna were in a helicopter trying to fight Mistress 9, but the helicopter blew up, and in order to prevent them from dying, she stopped time. So this is why the element of time is with her, because she hasn't been born yet, or resurrected yet as the Sailor Scout. So in this picture, actually, there is one missing. That's Haruka, but she's sitting right next to her. So they survived because she stopped time. And so this moment of destruction in the tower also is a moment of hope, because every ending is also a new beginning. So they did have a chance to, continue the fight, go up against her. They thought they had lost her, but since she has the element of time with her, she survived. And so this is what I mean with this deck. Like, this moment for this card was chosen perfectly because it just makes so much sense. And then here we have future Queen Serenity from the Crystal Kingdom. This is Chibiusa's mother in the future, and she's trapped in this crystal. So we've got the Star card for her. So she can't do much right now, but there's still hope. And that's why her daughter travels back in time to get the Sailor Scouts to help her mom because the element of hope. And then we've got Neptune, of course, for the moon. And for the sun, when everything at the end of that season, you know, she got out of the crystal, the family was reunited again, happy ending. For the judgment, here we have parts of the family of Prince Diamond. They all had the black moon on their foreheads. And then we have the Sailor Scouts on the other side. And of course, Bunny is always acting as some kind of a judge because she makes the final decision. She decides who gets saved, and she always decides to save them all. And then here, the last one is called the Universe. And yeah, she is protecting Earth. So yeah, this is the deck that I started with. And I was reading with this deck quite a bit. I was reading for friends, for family, and I really enjoyed this. And still to this day, this gives me very good answers. And so since this is a celebration for me, my 25-year tarot journey, I want to give back. And if anyone wants a reading with this deck, let's make this a little giveaway. So if you want to enter the raffle for a reading from me, which I will record in video form like this to the person that gets chosen, just comment in the comments section below this video if you want to enter the giveaway. And I will leave this open for, let's say, until the end of May. We've got May 9th today. So I'll leave it open until the end of May. And then at the end of the month, I will draw a winner. And that person can ask me whatever kind of question is on their heart. No medical readings, no legal advice. Yeah, so I will do a reading for one person. If you want to, let me know in the comments if you're interested in entering the raffle. And then, yeah, I will do a reading for one lucky winner. So yeah, this was what I wanted to show you today. I might do a few more videos showing other decks that I initially started working with and how that went, because I really want to celebrate my entire journey this year. So yeah. What was your first deck? I'm curious. Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, if you've made it this far, thank you for watching. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.